Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri, and is the world's first single barrel only liquor store. This business is owned and operated by Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution list. That way you'll know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and what barrel picks they have in the works. We are also sponsored by The Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers a fully customizable carrying case that allows you to take your favorite distilled spirits or cocktail ingredients with you. Whether you're looking for yourself, a customized gift, or logo items for your business or event, The Bar to Go can help. Check them out at thebar2go.com. Use the number 2 when you type out The Bar to Go. Did you know Neely Family Distillery now ships its popular distilled spirits directly to you? To order, simply call 859-394-3258. Tell them the ABV Network sent you. And now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show is the first of a two-parter where we discuss if the chasing of allocated bourbon era is over. My name is Miss Beka Show. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley.
Hey, Becca, what's going on?
Howdy, Steve.
I think we're thinking about scrapping the Bourbon Daily branding, and it's just the Steve and Beka Show.
It's just the Steve and Beka Show. Welcome to the Steve and Beka Show, where
Steve and Beka Show.
Beka.
Yeah, well, we'll see how these shows do. Well, this is a test. This is like a pilot, so it's a two-parter too. So
it's the two of us. I mean, it's like we're just a regular radio show now. The Steve and Beka Show will have callers calling in.
Yep.
And they'll probably just be angry at us about something, I'd imagine.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I had one guy, let's talk about the bourbon, because that's something we were both at this past weekend. I had one guy come up and he had a whole list of things he didn't like about me, because I'm the announcer and I talk, and I get there at like 6 o'clock in the morning. And, you know, that's what they tell you. You have to get them up because the course opens at 7:30, and they're like, you got to get them up and just keep talking. And even if they don't like it, keep going, because you got to get people up, you know, so otherwise they'll sleep in. So. Most people are fine with it. They kind of know what you're doing. And then there's some people just get angry. And this guy came up. He was from New York, of course. Comes up and says, you know, you're not funny. You think you're funny, but you're not. You play bad music. You're singing. You sang a couple of songs in there. That was terrible. I hope you can podcast better than you can announce, because you're shit at this. I think I just had a whole list. And so he's railing on me, and he steps away. Of course, I got the mic, and I guess he wanted me sitting there and crying or in tears or something. And as soon as he steps away, I'm like, hey, there was my number one fan. And then I hear the guy's like, now he's antagonizing me. Do you hear that? He's talking to his buddy. He's antagonizing me. He wants me to go back over there.
Because you're going to fight him or something? Like,
I guess he thought this it has to end in a fight. I guess so. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
wow.
There you go. Yeah.
So you had your number one fan at the Bourbon County Burn.
Oh, the guy loved me. Yeah.
I mean, let's be fair though. There was a lot of other people at the Bourbon County Burn that came up to you and said that they really like you and they enjoy listening to your shows.
You got to see some of that, didn't you?
Yeah. And I was standing there and I'm like, oh, you listen to shows? I'm Miss Beka Show.
Yeah. It's kind of cool that people come up and say hello, and it's a nice event, isn't it? It's kind of a cool format.
Blown away with how nice it was. I had no idea it was that nice. I didn't really fully know what to expect from the Bourbon County Burn, but I was very impressed at how nice it was in the setup. And they had, there was quite a few different distilleries there. They had music, and there was fires everywhere, and lights, and a VIP tent, and a lot of vendors there. The food was pretty good. I mean, I was thoroughly impressed.
Yeah, it's as well organized as anything. So I think we're going to try to get together a group of riders next year. So like Lenny rides, Keith Garvin rides, James Such. So we've got 3 people that are interested in riding in the event next year.
Are you going to be riding, Steve?
Oh no, God no. Yeah. Fosnot thinks he's funny because I talk. It's a gig for me. I'm the announcer, and I've been doing it since the beginning. I've been doing it since 2017, and and people, because I was out of town, they come in the shop and ask where I'm at, and how come I'm not going to be in, at the store or whatever? And I'd be like, well, I'm going to be at the Bourbon Country Burn. I'm the announcer, and Jim's like, are you riding? Every single time. Yeah. No, I'm not riding. I can't ride a bike. It sounds terrible to me.
You're working. It's not that you wouldn't. It's
exactly.
That you're working.
You've been on some of these roads, like down by Woodford and Castle and Key. They're hilly. They're windy. There's no shoulder. I mean, they're not well kept either. By the way,
let's be fair. I too would die on those roads.
I know.
This is not just a matter of like. I mean, there's no way. There's absolutely no way. I would go, like, I haven't rode a bike in forever anyways, but to go up hills?
Yeah.
I don't even think I went up hills when I was fucking like 12 years old and riding a bicycle.
Imagine that. And Beka, it's not like it's 8 miles. No, it's
80.
It's 80, like at the minimum. There's one day when it's 113 miles on those roads. The fact you live, you should get an award.
Bike riders there's something else.
I know.
They are literally something else.
Yeah. And then they come in there, and I assume it's just because they're sore and all that, because I would be. I mean, I can't imagine how sore you are after riding that much. They come in and they just get annihilated drunk. And then they get up the next day and they bike again. I don't know.
I got to experience one of those.
Yeah.
The guy that talked to me about my hat.
Yeah. Yeah,
they a very strange interaction. I went up to get a beer from West 6, and I was I like to wear, and anyone that doesn't listen, I like to wear. I've got these like big, and they're not huge brim hats, but they're like big flat brim hats. And I like to wear these hats. I just think that they look nice on me, and because I'm a hat person, and I'm just standing in line, and I don't look any other way. Like I'm wearing like an oversized like button up shirt, and like I've got my regular boots on. And this old man just turns around and looks me in the face and says, "Have you ever seen this movie?" And I said, "No, should I have?" And he says, "Well, in the movie, they say that if there's one sure way a woman wants to meet a man, it's to wear a hat."
Oh, God.
And I did not know I just went, "Oh, okay." And the girl working at West 6 went, "Well, your hat looks very nice. Would you like a beer?" And so I'm like, about to try and get around. And he's just standing right in front of me. Like, I can't get past him.
Right.
And his friend walks up and he says to his friend, "You know the movie, whatever it was." He's like, "Oh, the hat thing." And I'm like, "Yeah, I guess
the hat thing."
I'm thinking, I've worn hats forever. Like, I always wear hats. And now some like weird, like, well, I didn't even understand. I'm like, I have no idea what movie this is. And also, like that means I'm trying to talk to men.
Right.
I'm wearing a fucking hat.
He's wearing a hat? I don't understand. So yeah.
That was the weirdest. I don't know. It was weird, and I was like, surely that man was drunk. I guess.
Well, he was
a strange interaction.
Plenty of people were drunk.
But other than that man and the man that yelled at you, there was a lot of very good people over there. Also, let's point out the biggest thing that happened while I was there.
Oh yeah, I was hoping you'd talk about this. This was big. This was the absolute biggest thing that happened. We were over at the VIP tent where the before you say, did you know that this person knew who you were? When you're there, but I mean literally to put things together,
halfway, if knows my name, maybe, I don't know. I didn't really know for sure. Like, just being friends with someone on Facebook does not mean that they know who you are.
Exactly.
And so Freddie Johnson is at the VIP tent talking, just being the best person ever. And we had to go over to do Royce's chat, but we wanted to say hello to Freddie first. And so you and Royce, and I was kind of standing a little bit back because I didn't want to be annoying. I mean, everyone's trying to talk to Freddie. So I was trying to not intrude too much. And he knows who you and Royce are. And so it's like, to me, it felt appropriate to make sure you guys said hello to Freddie and I wasn't going to butt in. And so Royce kind of goes up and hits him on the shoulder. And as he's about to give Royce a hug, he goes, "Where's Beka at?"
Yeah.
And I can honestly say I have never felt more special in my life. I said that. I said, I feel so special right now.
Yeah. Freddie not only knows who you were, he was wondering where you're at. He wanted you to be there. So, yeah.
He wanted me to be there. And then the funniest part was Royce did his fireside chat, and neither you nor Royce knew that Freddie Johnson was there for the entire fireside chat, standing there listening to you guys tell stories.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Even after you talked shit about Heritage Brands, he didn't run away.
Yeah, I was ripping on Heritage Brands a little bit. So
only slightly.
Not terrible, but I definitely wouldn't have done any of that with Freddie in the audience. I had no idea he was there. There's people gathered around, and it was dark, and there's rows of people, so it's not like it's just. And Freddie wasn't in the front row. I could see all the faces in the front row. I couldn't see who was behind there, anybody. And Freddie's there. I had no idea. And then I was like, oh well, God. Then they start taking an inventory. What did I say? Was and I don't think it was terrible, but yeah. So it was cool. Yeah, he's great. And he sent me a nice note afterwards saying it was a great talk, and see how you and Royce are friends, and he's a great guy.
He's fantastic.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
Yeah.
So we are popping bottles.
We are, yes. So what do you got today? I
have the Yellowstone 6-year-old family recipe.
Oh, nice.
Which just
That's a good
came
one.
out.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yes. Let's see if I can get a pop on this. No.
Okay. Well, you might be okay because I've got Blom Brothers here, and it's a bottle also more than halfway gone. So we'll see. We'll see here. Well, I do think I got
more than I did.
I think I got you.
More than I did.
Yeah, it was not great, but it was good enough. Let's just say so.
You are the winner.
Yeah.
Cheers, Steve.
Cheers, Beka. All right, we'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about chasing allocated bourbon, and is it finally past its expiration date? We'll do that in just a few. Let's talk about the people who make these shows happen. First up is the ABV Barrel Shop. It is the most unique shopping experience in the world of bourbon, as the ABV Barrel Shop only sells single barrels. Owners Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot select. With over 100 distilleries on board to sell us barrels, we are home to the most unique and diverse barrel pick selections in the bourbon world. By signing up for our email, you will always know what we have in stock. In addition to the single barrels, we'll have a gift shop featuring ABV Barrel Shop as well as ABV Network merchandise. We are partnering with vendors like Art Eatables and Old Man Bay Signs to bring you unique items you can't find anywhere else. We will also have a 24-seat classroom where we are offering educational and fun classes like Breakfast and Bourbon, a series where we pair donuts and bourbon, customer barrel picks, and opportunities to learn from master distillers and other bourbon dignitaries. Best of all, we feature a tasting bar where you can try before you buy. All of this is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. If you are in the St. Louis area, please stop by to say hi. If you're traveling in from outside the area, please take advantage of our hotel rates with the Drury Inn and Pear Tree Inn, less than a mile from our shop. This can be done via the links in our Visit St. Louis section on our website. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to plan your trip. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. Hi, this is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network. We're sponsored by the Stave and Thief Society. This is where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge a bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my Executive Bourbon Steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification program available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Okay, let's talk about the Neely Family Distillery. In 2018, I met Royce Neely at an industry event. He started appearing on our shows, and we became friends during my frequent trips to Kentucky. Today, he is amongst the leaders of young distillers leaving their mark on the bourbon industry. A visit to Neely Family Distillery yields insight on their unique family history, why their products are special, and gives you the opportunity to taste their whiskey, moonshine, and creams. Check them out at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com or visit them in Sparta, Kentucky.
This is also Freddie Mills going underneath the alias of Danny Kennard. You can find me on Facebook at any time. Just look up Danny Kennard, but I am Freddie Mills. Trust me.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we're talking allocated bourbon, and is it going to go away?
Yeah. So I personally, now this is just me. This isn't, I'm not speaking for anybody else, but I do feel like people are finally tired of running around and nonstop chasing. Now, this isn't the people who are flippers, whose whole life revolves around, making money off of bottles. They'll do that till the end of time. But I think just the normal everyday bourbon drinker, they're done with all that stuff. You hear even about, like today, as we record this, the Pappy Van Winkle announcement came out today. I don't care because I'm not going to see any of it. There's no chance of me getting it. I didn't even read anything about it because it doesn't matter.
Did you read the press release?
Oh no, I'm not going to get it.
Was George T. Staggo line up this year?
Well, no, they separated out. They'll do that one separately, the BTAC. So they just did the Pappy Van Winkle stuff. So then I'm sure later this week or something they'll do the BTAC. So they do release them right around the same time, but they separate those two brands out. But yeah, so I don't know. I will read that one.
I had a feeling.
Yeah.
So that
there's always hope for George T. Stagg.
You will read that one.
Yes.
I don't think it's going to fully go away. I think that
yeah.
If you could just put your name into a lottery, to get something allocated,
right. Kind of a passive thing.
Will do that.
Yeah.
Do I think that people are just going to be like waiting in line forever? It depends. I mean, like there's a lot of people that would drive down for hours and hours. Are those people going to do it? I think that if they're not chasers, they might.
Yeah.
They might not.
I don't know. But I think the idea of chasing this stuff is, at best it's a very coordinated effort these days because you have to look at where something like you're talking about, where there's some sort of raffle or auction going on. Now, in the old days, that wasn't the case. You would get in your car and you might drive all over the place and you'd find these things. Now they might, on the shelf, and you'd have to go, to cities that were big enough to get allocations, but not so big that you had people, there was a whole game that you had to play, and those days are gone. You can't do that anymore. Stuff's not on the shelf. I think everyone, puts it away if they have it. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like even finding it, I feel like almost too many store owners just have their person that they text about when they do have something that's allocated.
Yeah, I think so too.
And so if you do try and find it, you're just not. So, I mean, You're right. It's very rare to find anything.
Yes.
And so why even do it at this point?
Right. So, yeah, I think that the days of people getting excited and pumped up about it is, yeah. So, why would you pay those crazy prices for any of that stuff?
It's the price is insane. And then I think, and what I've seen a little bit at the distillery is, I've had a lot of people come in and they go, so I can only buy your stuff here? And we go, yeah. They go, you only do single barrels here? And we go, yeah. And they go, cool. That's what I'm looking for these days. I want to find stuff I can't have anymore but I can actually buy somewhere.
Right.
Like they look forward to be able to go to a gift shop and buy stuff that they can't find.
Yeah. The days of thinking you're going to get any of this other stuff is just past. And then you think about relationships and all that. And that certainly, that can play into it if you're in the right situation. But even a lot of that's ruined these days, Beka, because more and more the world is dominated by the big box stores. And when you're talking about, your Total Wines of the world or those type of places, they're about, really, if they do anything, they might do it for their club or something like that. But again, that's all done at random. You're not. It's not like even knowing the store manager, because everything is scanned in. They know all the inventory that they have. I mean, the ability to get a bunch of cool things, and maybe you can get an occasional bottle or something like that. But for the most part, there's not a whole lot even the managers can do. It's all everything's controlled. So, well,
I'll say that kind of sucks. I think that's kind of sad because I know that so many people had fun doing it. It was it was a treasure hunt, right?
Right.
Of see what I can do. And if they have the time, then do it. Why not go and try and find some, some crazy bottles all over the place? But it's kind of sad that that's not even really a thing. I say the only time you're going to find stuff is on the secondary market with stuff that's way overpriced.
Yeah. And I think and that's, you're right on, because I think that's what ends up ruining the whole thing for everyone is, the secondary market, and there becomes such worth and value to all of these things that people who have no interest at all in bourbon, the people that are interested in just making money, and then people who have more money than they know what to do with, those are the two entities that ruin it. So the people that go out and it's a job for them to go out and hunt the bourbon, and get the stuff and then tack on hundreds of dollars, or maybe in some instances thousands of dollars, and selling it. Those people, they're not bourbon fans like us. They're not bourbon drinkers. They're just people making money. And then the people that buy that aren't just the regular everyday bourbon drinkers. I'm not spending $2,500 on a bottle of Happy because I think it's cool. I wouldn't do that. Even if I had the means, I wouldn't spend that money on that stuff. So it is definitely sad, but money's just kind of ruined it. But that being said, this is part 1 of part 2. Tomorrow, Beka, we'll talk about other things that you can do out there that are equally as fun and exciting, and you still have the ability to do them. So that'll be a fun day tomorrow, right?
Yeah, more fun. Not as depressing as today. People yelling at us. We talked about there were people yelling at us today. We talked about people being drunk and saying weird things to me. We talked about how now you don't get to do anything fun and search for stuff, and now it's just
Tomorrow's going to be an upbeat day. Tomorrow's going to be all
show.
Sunshine and rainbows, so it'll be fun. Be sure to tune in tomorrow, folks. All right. As we wrap this one up, let's talk about where people can find us. Beka, we'll start with you. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Miss Beka Sue, 1K, no C's.
All right, for me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website. That thing's abvnetwork.com. Check it out because everything that we do is out there. Previous shows, blogs, so much more, abvnetwork.com. And hey, if you're in the St. Louis area, stop by and see me. I'm at the ABV Barrel Shop most of the time these days. So come by, see what we've got going on. We don't have any allocated stuff, that I can promise you. So maybe we'll talk about some of the things we've got on tomorrow's show. Should be fun. In the meantime, go ahead and sign up for our email distribution at abvbarrelshop.com. Anything else to say before we get out of here, Beka?
I'd just like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review that includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. If you like what we're doing, we ask you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
All right, great job today, gang. For our audience, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow, which will be part 2. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Peace. Before we finish the show, let's talk about some great companies that support the ABV network. First up is Moonshine Still Pro. Moonshine Still Pro has a full line of products to help the home distiller. Whether you want to experiment on the stove in your kitchen or you're looking for a bigger setup in your backyard, owner Russell Creed and his team can help. They have multiple still offerings, accessories, and even grain from their partners at Goldstone Mill to assist you in making whiskey on par with your favorite distillery. They can also help you with some fabricated parts you probably can't make yourself if you are attempting a DIY still project. Learn more or order your still or parts at moonshinestillpro.com. Another friend of ours is the Goldstein family at Goldstone Mill. The Goldsteins offer a variety of heritage and heirloom grains to make the finest whiskeys in the world. Plus, they are more than just a grain company. They are truly consultants to make sure the grains they are providing to you or your business meet your highest expectations. Additionally, they work with mills around the country, ensuring shipping is as low as possible for their customers. If you're a distillery, brewery, or even doing this at home, Goldstone can assist you. Check them out at goldstonemill.com, call them at 217-254-6613, or check in via email at hello@goldstonemill.com. Last but not least is the ABV Barrel Shop. While we don't get to play in the allocated bourbon game because we aren't selling the other products you have to do to get those, we do have access via our friendships in the bourbon industry to some really cool stuff. Have you ever seen your favorite craft distiller selling some really cool limited offerings only in their gift shop? I'm talking things like the hazmat offering Distillery 291 did for their 10th anniversary, or Neely Family Distillery's Papaw's Birthday Barrel. They don't have enough of it to send it out to distributors, so they only sell it via their gift shop. Well, companies like Distillery 291 and Neely Family Distillery have agreed to sell us 2 or 3 cases of these offerings moving forward, meaning our store will have the access to some of the rarest whiskeys in the world. Way more difficult to come by than the allocated bourbon offerings with a national release. Yes, they will be extremely tough to come by, but if you're a customer of our store, you'll have a chance to get them. Get signed up for our email or text list over at abvbarrelshop.com so you don't miss out.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.